Hey guys, today is another day, and even though we're not done with the Corvette project C7, we got another Corvette to work with. I couldn't resist and buy myself another Corvette C6 this time, and my brother brought it in, and I want to go check it out. It's flooded from Florida. It has a Florida has a Florida salvage title, but let's go check it out and see what it's all about. In 3, 2, 1, here's your surprise. Here we go. Let's take a look what it is. Looks like somebody got distracted with the plastic dip. A lot of plastic dip to begin with, because you could see some of this paint is chipping and somebody just sprayed it with the plastic dip. But I mean, the wheels look fine. Let's take a look further on. It has a water line, which is really great to see a water line at this level. That just means, you know, you have to deal with the minor stuff. Whether it will run or whether it would have problems or not mechanically, that's not known to us. But overall, seems to be alright. As you can see, there's a lot of paint chips. Florida cars. We might have to repaint the whole car. Not might, well, most likely you're gonna have to repaint the whole car. Let's take a look on the inside. Oh, what happened here? Looks like the paint is chipping off or something from the leather seats. It was listed as non-run and drive because they don't want to test these flooded cars, just not to mess up any engine or transmission components. But according to them, it should have around 70,000 miles. And I mean, later on we'll get to it. We'll see if it runs or not, if it has water inside or not. Until then, let's get back to this project C7. As I mentioned in the previous video, and it took a little longer than usual because of vacations and stuff that I had to do with the personal life, but I was able to gather more parts. I programmed the computer previously on the previous video, and today I wanted to change wheelhouse, put the windows, and maybe even possibly hang the door. As you guys could see, I have a door right there. That's just a shell. I have a mirror right here, gray one, almost color matches. And the list of other parts that we have a bumper right here, we have a new wheelhouse, we have a fender, and we have a grill. Pretty much everything that we need to kind of get it going, we have. What I'm gonna do today is probably start working on the wheelhouse, take this thing off, replace it, glue the new one in so I could, you know, properly secure the computer module, and I could work from there. I could put the fender on after that. I could start adjusting the hood, adjusting the other fender, adjusting the door, start working on the fiberglass, and so on. But before it all, I need to pull this sucker off. It's really glued into that frame itself. It's a very strong adhesive that sits on it. But let's see how it goes. So guys, before we could take this panel off, as you guys could see right here, we gotta take the fuse box off because it's all sitting on that gotta clear up this place. And in order for us to clear this space up, we gotta, you know, pull this fuse box, and it's not safe to pull the fuse box without removing the battery contacts. Basically, we gotta make sure there's no electricity connected to it, so we don't short anything, so we don't, you know, misprogram anything in the computer, type of thing. So we'll disconnect the battery first and then get to it. Just one negative or positive.
Yeah, it's just a little stuck right now. Okay, got one off. That's all we need.
That's all we need. Just make sure it's not touching. Alright, let's go over here. The way you take this off is first you kind of take the cap off for the fuse box, put it on the side, and then there's these tabs on the side. You pull these individually, one by one, and you can feel the whole thing kind of get loose. You pull it like this, and then you do it backwards by pulling it up. The easiest fuse box you could ever remove. Also, you want to remove this as well. Let me see how you do it. $13 millimeter. Boom.
That's simple.
It's that simple. Piece of cake, we call it. Move this to the side. Give it a Okay, guys. Now we gotta take this thing off. Gotta take this 10 millimeter, this 10 millimeter, this 10 millimeter. As much as I could see, that should be all. So as you guys could see, we took the airbox out, we took this thing, the whole thing that comes to the airbox all the way to the throttle body, disconnected these. The way you disconnect these is just by pressing them together, both sides together. Disconnect the sensor, mass flow sensor, just to get us, you know, as much room as possible, you know, so we could have access to this area. This tank is free moving, you know, we can move it around, and pretty much just need to remove the lock. At this point, just need to remove the lock. We already moved the plugs, everything out of the way. On this end, need to remove this ground and kind of try to see if we can rip this thing off slowly but surely. So guys, now that we clean up all the engine bay, I think these might become useful at this moment. Let's try to pry these things off. Maybe all quick time lapse. So just kind of. This. Go big or go home. So guys, as you can see at the moment, we pulled most of, I would say 90% of all the fiberglass wheelhouse assembly. All this is just a glue, adhesive glue. We just gotta grind it off or chisel it off, whatever works best. Got it off over here, got it off right here. Gotta clean this up really nice and all the way to the metal so we can glue the new piece in it. And piece of advice I just learned by taking this thing off, I was trying to find a used piece for this piece used, and now I know why I couldn't. It's because if you try to remove this piece, it'll break. It's a fiberglass, and as soon as you start breaking it off the frame, it starts breaking, it starts shattering in pieces. And as you can see right here, all these pieces fell apart. You see, even if you take this, it's a strong compound, but it's breakable. And as soon as you start peeling it off, you see what happens, it breaks. This is why you don't cheap out. You buy a new part from dealer. If it's $500, it's $500. But buy a new part, clean this up, clean this up, and put a new part, new glue, everything, put a new glue, just like it was supposed to be, put it back in, and everything should be perfect, aligned with everything that needs to be on forget it. Christmas is over. New Year's is over. I'm still white. What is this? What am I, Snow White or something? Well, guys, we cleaned this up. You might ask, why didn't I clean all the way to the metal? Well, first of all, because it's really hard to get to. Second of all, I'm gonna have to put a huge layer of this glue underneath, and it's holding really well. I mean, it's solid underneath. So I was thinking put a thinner layer of glue over this, and it's gonna hold. It's gonna hold, and it's just gonna be an in-between layer type of thing. But before I do all that, I want to try to fit it. I'm gonna take the new piece and try to fit it and see how it fits, how it works, and all that stuff. Maybe I'll grind it off all the way if needed, but at the moment I don't see a need to do that yet. So guys, we couldn't record how we put the glue and all that because it was really difficult to put the glue at the same time hold the camera. The glue that goes on it is very sticky, very tacky glue. It's a very strong glue. If you get it on your screen, on your skin, you might regret it later on the clothes or whatever. You might regret it because it just really gets into whatever you put it on, which is a good thing because it sticks to whatever, to the metal. But you still have to prep it. You still have to put a rubbing alcohol or a thinner or something over it just to make sure it's clean surface. And as you can see right here, we have a panel on. I don't want to touch it or move it much, but you can see the glue right there. You can see glue right here and over there, as well as over here. We did the best as we could, trying to secure it, try to press it in against the frame to make sure it sits as well, as tight as possible against the frame, to make sure it has, you know, it doesn't have any play. Make sure the glue spreads all around and even. And as of right now, even though we want to put the fuse box and everything together right now together, we're gonna leave it as it is because we want this glue to cure till tomorrow at least. And then after that, after it cures, we want to make sure, you know, move it around, make sure it's solid, it doesn't have any noise, any cracking or anything like that, because this noise will come up later on when you're gonna be driving the car. We want to make sure we check for that. If everything is good on that end, then we'll put everything back together the way it was. So thank you guys for watching the video, and we will see you later.